This is Ashley Davis, number 12, with women's basketball, and you're listening to Inside the Hive.
Welcome to Inside the Hive. Right now I'm joined with Athletic Director for Black Hills State University Athletics, Patrick Mcneill. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So the reason we wanted you on the show today was because Jackets Give Back happens on the 25th. What can you say about this program that helps student athletes?
Yeah, actually, interesting enough, it started out as kind of a day of giving, which it really still is, and Friday is the actual day. But what's really neat about it is we've actually expanded it for the whole week. So we have information out there right now. What's really awesome about this particular program and how does it really help athletics is individuals can actually give to whatever program they so choose. So each one of our athletic programs, as well as athletic training, strength conditioning, all have their own sites that people can go on, and they can give any amount of money that they want that goes directly to those programs. And, really they use those funds for various needs in their programs, whether that's equipment or uniforms or things like that they're trying to enhance the student athlete experience. That's really what these funds are for. And, what I would just say to anybody that might be watching or inquiring is every type of amount matters. Whether it's $5 to $25 to $25,000, it all really does matter. So what we really ask is if you're interested in giving to a program or programs, you can certainly give to more than one, please do so. And you can even just give to the general athletic fund, and that lets us support all of it. But we really encourage people, take the time, give online if you can, and be part of this program. And our goal is, as a university, is to try to get as many donors as we can. Certainly want to raise a lot of money, but I think it's as much about getting donor involvement as we can, as much as anything else.
Right, and donor involvement, it doesn't have to be, a $100 a month gift. It doesn't have to be $100,000, although that would be great.
Yep.
It could be $5. It could be something small, just whatever you can give to help out students and student athletes, because not only does this benefit athletics, it benefits the university as a whole, correct?
It does. So, it's a big, this just isn't athletics. The entire university is doing this. So different programs, whether it's the library or the different colleges, you can give to those as well. For us, we've broken it down by, those that are in athletics. And for instance, like our marching band, pep band, they have their own. So if that's something that is part of the game day experience and you want to support our band, I hope you would, but I think anything you can support is beneficial to us as a whole. And, that's the critical thing. And we just want people to get involved. And, honestly, we've had people that have already given a little bit to every one of our programs. So instead of just giving one big, check, they might have given, I think one of them gave $25 to every single one of our athletic programs. That's awesome. That's $25 that each of those programs can use in different ways. And so we just encourage you to give.
Absolutely. Every little bit, just like you said, goes a long way.
Yep.
And we're going to be kind of having a little bit of an event on the 25th during our basketball game, correct?
Yeah. So, our men's and women's basketball teams, finish up the regular season this weekend, Friday night, 5:30 and 7:30, and then on Saturday at 4 and 6. But on Friday night, again, that being the day of giving, during the halftime of the men's basketball game, we're going to give a live update as to the number of donors that are participated, as well as the numbers that we've raised. And, our goal is we want to break the record. So again, anybody that can give would be helpful. But we're going to go ahead and kind of recognize that. And certainly we're going to go through Saturday of giving, but we encourage people to give now, and certainly, if they want to at the game, to give. But we are going to give everybody an update Friday night at halftime of the basketball game for the men's game.
Right. And so there's also going to be QR codes. There's going to be links, everything that allows you to do it from your phone and makes it very easy to donate to our programs.
They are, and we're even actually, I think Thayer and myself may be walking around during the game with some iPads. So even if someone's maybe not as technically sound and they want to work with us, we may have iPads that are accessible that someone can give us a credit card and we can enter in the system and all that. And we can even take pledges on it if you want. So people may say, hey, I want to give you more now, but I want to give, even more later. We can, assist them with that as well. So we're hoping that, maybe the men's and women's basketball game will be the culmination of a lot of this, but we certainly want to have people keep going through Saturday. But give today, makes it easier, and then you can see the fruits of your labor.
Right. So they're giving you an iPad?
They're going to let me borrow one so that I can do that, and then I'll give it back to them. How's that?
You know the home, like you push the home button to unlock it, right?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure that they took you through
I will
everything.
figure it. They're going to give me the step-by-step so I know what I need to do.
Oh, I had to make fun of you a
That's
little
all
bit.
right. That's all right.
So with all of that, games coming up this week, it's going to be a huge weekend, just as far as athletics, but this Giving Day is a hugely important deal for us because this is one of our bigger fundraisers for the year for the university as a whole. So we definitely want as much participation, and we definitely want the crowd and the audience to know that not only can you donate to athletics and to, academic side of things, but this is a huge part in what makes Black Hills State function. Yep. And I heard Steve Meeker say that this is how we can combat some of the issues we have, because obviously funding is always an issue. Almost every university can say that funding is in some part an issue, whereas here we can do something about it. And this is our time to do something about it.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Patrick. As this busy weekend gets rolling, I'm sure that we'll be seeing each other a lot more.
Yes, and just, to kind of recap, this is a huge weekend. Our men's and women's track and field teams are heading down for the RMAC Indoor Championships, so we're excited about that. I think you had a chance to talk with Seth and a few others, and so we have, I think, 32 athletes that'll be competing, which is a huge number for us, and then certainly their men's and women's basketball team will be playing in their final games here, and they're playing for some really good top seeds. Our men, if they can win out, will be the #1 team and win the regular season championship, so that's huge. And then also our softball team is traveling to Las Vegas, New Mexico to take on New Mexico Highland, and they're starting their softball season. So it is a huge weekend. We're excited for all those teams. We wish them all the best of luck, and go Yellow Jackets.
Absolutely. You wouldn't see it from outside, but it looks like the spring season's about to start.
It is. It's here regardless.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Patrick, and we look forward to this weekend. We'll be back with more after this on Inside the Hive. And welcome back to Inside the Hive. Right now I'm joined with Coach Nori, head women's basketball coach. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing well.
Good.
So you were able to play the Shattering game. Unfortunately, the men weren't, but you were. And you came away with a win on that one. Can you tell us a little bit about that game?
Seems like a decade ago. Yeah, we did. We came out really, thought defensively we were really sharp. Had a lot of, executed the game plan defensively really well. Hard, it was hard to get in a rhythm offensively, I thought, but we had great opportunities and a lot of credit to, just how they executed on the defensive end. I thought that carried us throughout.
Right, and some of the high scores. We have 22 points from Danica Kosher, 4 rebounds from her, and 3 steals. I mean,
yeah. She's been playing really well. She's playing with a lot of confidence. She's a tough kid. She's hyper competitive, and she just keeps getting better and better and playing with a lot of confidence. And she's definitely a go-to player for us.
Good. And, Shattering wasn't one to really shake a stick at. I mean,
no.
They seem to...
It's a tough place to play. I mean,
yeah.
Shattering is, they play at home. The environment, the acoustics in that gym it's really loud. They've got some good players. I think Coach Raymer does a good job, and they really step up their game at home, and we knew that we had to play well, and So fortunately, defensively, we were on it, and like I said, could never get very rhythmic offensively, but I thought that, we had some big key steals and buckets late, and I thought every time that Shatter made a run, I thought that we really countered well and really finished the game well.
Very good.
Yeah.
And so as rivalry week goes on, that one's tough.
It is.
As it went on, you guys got to play South Dakota Mines.
Yeah. Wish we could play them again. I want that one back.
I know.
I want that one back. Yeah, it's a hard one to swallow. It was a tough situation. We just came out flat. They jumped on us early. I think we got down first half by 14 and never really could get over the hump. I thought we responded. I thought we finally played more of who we were the second half, the third and fourth quarter, but we could never get over the hump. And they made plays. I give a lot of credit to them. I mean, I thought that from start to finish, they had some luck on their side too. I told Coach Jacobson, I was wondering if they practiced their bank threes. They had two the second half that were just killers for us, and they did a good job of hitting free throws when they needed to, and we could never just get over the hump. And it was a tough game. I mean, it's just, I know our gals. It was something that I think maybe the little bit of that rivalry tension probably got to us a little bit, and we probably overcomplicated the scout maybe a little bit, but it was a tough one. And fortunately, now we have a couple games at home, and we can recognize some awesome seniors. But it was an unfortunate L for us, but we're ready to bounce back from that.
Absolutely, and like you just mentioned, gonna bounce back here Friday, Saturday. Friday, a little bit of a bigger night for us because we have a couple promotions going on. But what can you tell us about Colorado Christian?
So they're a gritty team. They're a team that is very solid too. I mean, we had to give everything we had down there to beat them. But they're they have a new coach this year and a lot of new players. They got a lot of transfer kids in, and they got a big post inside that's good, and some athletes out on the perimeter. And so we're going to have to play well. We're going to have to just make sure that we give forth the right effort and mentality from the start. But a very solid team.
Very good. And then we'll go into Metro as well and just kind of talk about them and what can we expect as far as play style and how we can combat that.
So Metro's styles are very different. They're huge. They're a big team. They're filled with seniors and graduate seniors. They got a slew of just quality players. We got our first win down there at their place, and we're gonna have to again just be really, really solid, make plays, and in both games again are just they're games that we expect to be close and we expect to make plays. But Metro is they're a team that's plays from inside out, and they have some very good scorers inside, and like I said, their size, we're gonna have to really do a good job on the glass and make sure we're the physical players, but they're a solid team, and they're really well coached, and you have to play well to beat them, but we're excited again, and excited for a senior night that night and on Saturday, so it'll be a good test for us.
Absolutely. And so you mentioned senior night, and both Ashleys on our team are going to be graduating this upcoming semester.
Hard to believe.
I know, and just seems like yesterday they joined the team, but can you talk about them, just seeing their growth from when they got here to now?
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily prepared completely to talk about they just mean so much to us and to me, and as good as they are on the floor, and as much as they do on the floor in their production, they're better people, and for me, it's just been an honor to coach them. I've always been able to count on them to do things and just to really help me out from a coaching standpoint and buy-in standpoint. And it's going to be hard to see them be done, but it's kind of like you get every year it's kind of like you get a taste of when you send your daughters out in the real world. You get a taste of that with these guys, and it's a special couple gals, mm-hmm. Ashley, if that name, I have 2 daughters, and you always go back, and when you're naming your kid and you're saying, hey, what about this name, or what about this name, and one of them says, well, that name reminds me of this kid, and that wasn't a great kid, mm-hmm. or whatever. But if I was able to have another kid, which I'm not, but if I was, that Ashley name would really be something special to name a kid because of what they meant to me and just who they are as people.
Absolutely.
If that made any sense.
It did. And, I couldn't agree with you anymore. This year I've taken more of an initiative to go out and meet the student athletes and really get personable with them. And I could tell you that the women's basketball team has been one of the easiest to get along with. And not saying that we have teams that are hard to get along with, but for me, it was just so easy to talk to them. And I mean, just seeing them in the hall, they're greeting you, and you just tell that they have such a mature mentality that it's hard to find sometimes.
Yeah. No, it is. And it's hard to find, those servants and people that have compassion towards other people. And we really try to find, young ladies that have those servant leadership qualities and are good people first. And I think that's a big reason for our success. And I think that, they led the way, and you can understand why it's, with those 2. We have a team filled with just awesome people, and mm-hmm. but you have to have someone leading the way, and you can get a taste of that, and I get to see them every day, and it's pretty special. It's pretty awesome. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And just going back to them, you could break a person down by numbers, you can break an athlete down by numbers, but when you're recruiting for college, it's more than numbers.
Yeah,
it's how are they going to be in the classroom, because if they can't, pass a class, then they're not eligible to play. They might have amazing stats in one area, but that's because they hogged the ball or something like that. Whereas, it seems like these young ladies, both the Ashleys, they will do anything for the team.
They will, and they'll run through a brick wall for you. And the thing about it is, you look at it, you mentioned academics, and it's such a big part. I mean, that's the one thing I think this Black Hills State, I mean, you look at every sport, I mean, look at their GPAs. They're doing a heck of a job in the classroom, and just awesome people. But for me, I mean, we had over a 3.7 GPA with 8, 4.0s. And I mean, they're a heck of a lot smarter than I was, but they try hard.
Yeah.
I mean, they want to succeed, and they want to do well. And it's, as young kids, I mean, that's something we look at. I mean, how are their academics? I mean, if they're struggling in class, what's going to happen when they struggle? Something happens in practice, or something happens. How are they going to respond? I mean, are they going to just quit, or are they going to figure out a way? And I think there's carryover with that. And I really think that there's a lot to be said with someone that gets it done in the classroom, and you don't have to. I don't have to stress about that, and that's a huge thing. I mean, it's something that our team does a really good job of, and I'm thankful for that.
Absolutely, Coach. Well, we are excited to host the senior night for you guys, and really showcase both the Ashleys.
Thank you.
And just really excited for this weekend.
Thank you.
We'll be cheering you on, and
we appreciate that.
Absolutely.
We do. So
absolutely. All right, we'll be back with more right after this.
Hey, I'm Chad Greenway, former Viking linebacker and South Dakota native. Since retiring from pro football, there are a few things that make Chad Greenway really happy. Chad Greenway likes to be comfortable. Chad Greenway likes good food and great service. Yeah! And Chad Greenway likes to have some skin in the game. Dale's Sportsbook Bar and Grill. Every game, Every day, you can bet on it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Inside the Hive. Right now, I'm joined with Ryan Thompson, head coach for the men's basketball team. Coach, how are you?
Doing great. How are you, Colton?
Doing fantastic. So, like we talked about last week, didn't get to play the Shadron game, so rivalry week 2.0 didn't really pan out too much, except for the Hard Rockers win. Can you take us a little bit through that game?
Well, that's the big one. I think that's the big rivalry game, and fun night for us to come out on top. Thought our guys played extremely well. Difficult environment. I think they did a great job of making that difficult on us with their fans. But credit to our guys. I thought we defended at a really high level. I thought our intensity just was at an all-time high in that second half. We got out and ran, shared the ball, and just was really efficient in the second half offensively. So a lot of fun for us, and it was good for us to bounce back and kind of get back to playing the brand of basketball that we're capable of playing.
Right, and like we kind of hinted, your guys were ready to play. I mean, getting the Shadron game taken away, not really having the weekend you wanted before that, they were ready to play. And so this very well shows it, not only beating them, but beating them at their home place, which is fantastic. And then you have players that constantly make the top, like Joel Scott, Sindhu Cisse, and Sava Dukic. But the thing is that all of them can be talked about. I mean, basically your whole starting lineup can be talked about throughout the entire game. Not only that, but also some of the bench players are definitely worth talking about as well. Are there any athletes that through this game really showed their potential, showed what they're capable of?
Well, I thought it was, a complete team effort, like you mentioned. I thought everyone played really well. Some guys that maybe don't always get the recognition that other guys do. I thought Riker Cicerik was fantastic for us. He's been starting the last couple nights out for us, and was great on the defensive end, had a monster block in that first half. I remember him making a big-time hustle play where we had turned the ball over in the second half, and he went and chased it down and dove on the floor and saved it off one of their players. So he was really good for us. Hit a big three as well. Sava Dukic is kind of been a guy that's been under the radar at times this year for us, but just hits monster shots. And there were some moments where Tech was trying to fight its way back in the second half, and he just hit some timely baskets. In addition to playing through a bloody nose and not even blinking an eye about that, and defending at a really high level. So those guys certainly come to mind when you talk about the efforts of some other guys on our team.
Absolutely. So moving on to this weekend, we have basically this weekend kind of decides whether or not you stay at the top of the regular season rankings. So I guess, is that weighing on the guys at all, or is it kind of, it's another game, we got to go out and win?
Well, I think, with everything in sports, your mindset is so important. Your mentality does so much. And, we can't hide behind the fact that if we win 2 games this weekend, we're going to be, conference champs and raising a banner. And that's a special spot to be in. But, what we can do is control our mindset and not be afraid of it, not worry about it not going our way, and just focus on 40 minutes of basketball and going and attacking it and playing to win. And I think our guys will do that. I think we'll be in a good spot. We've got some experienced guys that have been through this before. We've had some setbacks throughout the year like anyone does, and I think we're in a good spot right now, and I think our focus will be just on attacking Colorado Christian on Friday and not worrying about anything, negative or anything to that degree.
Right. So you said Colorado Christian. What can we kind of expect from them?
Well, they shoot the three. I think they lead the conference in three-point makes. They have, 3 dynamic guards, Ross Williams, McDonald, and Stafford. Those 3 guys are, all conference caliber players, and they're just really difficult to defend. So our ability to limit their open looks from the three-point line will be key. And then us, I think offensively we have some advantages and inside and with our guards and our big scoring inside against them. So just not settling and working for great looks on offense, being sharp, kind of some things that are common themes every night for us. But right. I think defending the three-point line will be really key for us to take care of Colorado Christian.
Perfect. And then if you could just break down Metro State for us a little bit.
They're arguably the most athletic team in the conference. They're kind of a momentum team, meaning if they get into a rhythm and get some steals and get out in transition, it really, lifts their energy level. They got the best rebounder, offensive rebounder in the conference, and Lalu Oki. So keeping him off the glass and limiting turnovers and kind of playing at the pace we want to play will be key with them. But their athleticism will be impressive.
Coming to the end of the season, what did you see about this season as far as parity between teams that might be a little bit different from what you've seen in the past?
Yeah, it's been the most balanced RMAC, that I've been a part of in the 7 years I've been here. The last team in the league can beat the top team in the league on any given night, and and in order for that to happen, the top team doesn't have to play terrible. It's everybody's capable of beating anybody, and that makes for a great conference. There's great competition every night out, and if you're not bringing your A game, you're going to be in a tough situation. So, no, it's great to see, and it's a credit to all the programs within our conference that have put out quality teams this year.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, we wish you the best of luck this weekend, and we really look forward to the games. And hopefully we get to have that special banner raising for sure.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it, Colton.
All right, and we'll be back with more right after this on Inside the Hive.
At Pioneer Bank and Trust, we work with the best. We work with the doers and the makers, the ones who aren't afraid to put in the extra hours to get it done. Now, the real question is, are you ready to join them? Our customers are the ones who put in a full day before the sun even is up, because that's what it takes to make a business successful. And we want to work with you to make yours an even bigger success. Pioneer Bank and Trust, local.
Welcome back to Inside the Hive. Right now I'm joined with Tommy Donovan and Riker Cicerik from men's basketball. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing great. Yeah.
I'm having a good day as well, Colton.
Good, good.
How are you, Colton?
Not too bad. Not too bad. It's a little noisy in here, but, you can't complain about our women's basketball practicing.
Oh, no. Got to get better all the time.
Exactly. Practice, practice, practice. So, coming off of this last week, it was a little bit of a struggle because you guys, as we talked about with Coach in the last couple of weeks, you guys had to deal with a weekend of losses, and then also on Tuesday, the Shattering game got canceled. So what was the motivation of the team going into the South Dakota Mines game this weekend?
I think everyone was just really excited. I know Coach actually asked us a pretty similar question. Once the Shattering game was canceled, we came back to practice the next day, and he's like, "So how you guys feeling?" And I know Sava said, "I'm just excited to get back, ready to go." Obviously we didn't play great the weekend prior, and I think the other teams played really well was part of it too. But we kind of know, that happens. You learn from it, and then you bounce back, and everyone's excited to go. So
yeah, it was just learning from that whole experience and then just moving forward. Riker, what was your take on it?
Basically exactly what Tommy said. We were all just excited to bounce back and just ready. We were so ready to play another game.
Especially Tech. So.
Oh yeah. You can't complain about playing South Dakota Mines.
But we were frustrated with our losses, and we haven't been doing much of that this season. So it was frustrating losing 2 straight and 3 of our last 4. So we were just amped to get back on the court. And
so it wasn't getting down on yourselves. It was no, how do we get back to our normal playing style and our wins? Right?
Exactly.
Perfect. So going into the South Dakota Mines, not South Dakota Mines, but going into this weekend, we play Colorado Christian, and I just wanted to get your guys' take on how that day's going to go, how that night's going to go.
Well, they're a really talented 3-point shooting team. They're dangerous from behind the arc, and so we just have to be adamant. I don't know the word. But we have to be super sharp on the defensive end, take away their 3 points as much as we can. They're going to hit some here and there, but as long as we can limit them, I think that's all we can do. And
really defend that 3-point line and, try to get in their faces, I guess, is kind of the key to that. I'm no expert on basketball, but I think if you can, get in front of them, it's good.
Yeah, no, they're one of those teams that's they're offensively really dangerous. I know they've beaten Highlands, who was on like an 8-game win streak or something like that, and CCU took them down. CCU took down Regis when they were up there with us at number 1. CCU, we almost lost to Regis. We won by 7 against them was all, and they took UCCS to overtime, stuff like that. So there's no one in our conference who's bad. There's some teams who have lost more games than others, but every game is a challenge. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So then we go into Metro, and with Metro, they kind of have a different playing style, don't they, than the usual suspects, I should say.
For sure. They're a lot more get to the rim. They have a really athletic and high motor big man who is like 4th in the nation averaging offensive rebounds. So as like they play through everyone on their team. So it's kind of just defend, because they're a lot more get to the basket, drive, and so as long as we can pack the paint and take away what they want to do, I think we'll find great success there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Metro's always one of the most athletic teams in the league. Their defenders are always capable of defending, and when they sit down and are all in it, then they are a really good defensive team. And like he was talking about with Oki's he's been here for a while, and he's always top 5 in the country in rebounding, offensive rebounds in particular, and just super high motor. And when they get going, they got some guys who can shoot it a little bit, and some guys who get up and dunk, and they get kind of crazy. But if you can stay solid through that, then you can kind of outlast them during the runs. Is how we've been able to win in the past. So we got to be solid against them.
Gotcha. So on that night as well, we're going to be celebrating our seniors, kind of putting them in the spotlight. What do you, I guess, does that ever get to be an emotional night for anyone, do you think? Or is senior night more of a, hey, let's celebrate these guys and then we play this game?
Yeah, in my time here, I don't think anyone's been super emotional about it.
No hugs and crying or anything.
Nothing crazy. I mean, obviously, like my freshman year, we had Frazier, and so that was kind of a big deal because he was hurt that night. So that was a little more emotional for some people, and especially him in terms of like, dang, I wish I could play. But I think most guys are mature enough to say like, this isn't about me. It's still about the team. Like it's nice to be recognized, and they deserve that recognition. But it's about winning, and I think they'd rather win than like have the spotlight be on them. So
yeah. Riker, anything on that?
I mean, I've only really experienced one senior night here, and it was last year with Spencer, Ederhoff, Trey Whitley, and Kevin. And like with Kevin, like it was kind of a cool moment because like he didn't have his family here, so like us as a team walked out with him. So like it was a cool moment, but I'm pretty sure we just got straight back into like focusing on the game right after it. Like no one thought of it as a big deal. Obviously, in the moment, it's a cool thing to celebrate the seniors and thank them for what they've done here. Absolutely,
and. It just seems like some of those seniors, you finally see them graduated, and for me, I've seen a lot of people graduate, and it's just like, holy cow, I've been there that long to see them go through. So, it's just a cool thing, like you said, to give them the respect that they deserve for sure and celebrate them kind of how they need to be celebrated. And, what better way to celebrate them than a win this weekend, right?
Yeah, for sure. 2 wins this weekend.
Two wins, that's right. And so I don't want to put any pressure on you guys, but if you win out, it sounds like we'll hold, or I should say you guys get to hold the number 1 spot in the regular season, which means that Black Hill State would host the playoff games. Is that any factor in your guys' play style, or is it we're just going to go out and play to win, and that's it?
It doesn't really have a factor, but I would definitely, probably back in the back of our heads it has a factor, but we're not really focused on playoffs. We're just focused on these games, taking them one at a time, and because that's all you can do. If you get too far ahead of yourselves, that's where you kind of start to slip up and get loose and not as sharp. So.
Yeah, I think the only factor that would really have is that in the back of your mind, that you're the best team in the league. And so if you go on a little spurt where the other team's on a run or something like that, you have that confidence in the back of your head where it's like, we are the better team and we are able to come back. In terms of it being like a pressure thing of, well, we really want to win out, that can just lead to you playing not to lose, and you never want to do that. So anything beyond having confidence in yourself is, something that we try to avoid. So.
Makes sense.
Well said.
Well, that was very well said. So, I didn't want to end this interview on just things talking about, the games or anything like that. So we're going to go into the fun questions like we normally do. So anyway, what is your favorite type of coffee?
Mystic Monk coffee. You ever had that before? There's some monks out in Wyoming. I think they're Carmelites, and they make Mystic Monk coffee. They sell it, and that's how they make their money to run their monastery. It's actually super good.
Mystic Monk?
Mystic Monk coffee.
It's your first mistake is getting Tommy started on coffee.
Hey,
oh boy.
Yeah, I do like it. I mean, I'll drink Folgers, whatever.
Do we need to take a quick commercial break and then come back and?
Dude,
hey, Tommy, tell Colton about your coffie mug. That you
no comment.
Haven't washed in how many years?
No comment.
How many? Wait, years?
I have a mug that has not been washed as frequently as other people choose to wash theirs.
What is not frequently?
You could wash it more, is what you could say. But you have any other questions? Any other questions?
Well, my favorite coffee is I would probably just say like a caramel macchiato.
Caramel macchiato.
I'm not really a big coffee drinker, but when I do, that's probably my go-to.
Oh, okay. I can respect that. What is your guys' pregame routine?
Well, a few of the guys, and like when we're home, when we're playing here at Black Hills, between like our shoot around and like when we have to be back for like the girls' game and just preparation, we kind of hop on the PlayStation and play Fortnite. That's kind of something we do like every game, and it's just I don't know. Kind of gets us just a break from thinking about basketball, but at the same time, it's like you're still locked in.
Stop thinking about basketball, homework, that stuff.
Yeah, it's just a relaxing moment.
Yeah.
And when I get back to the court, kind of watch the girls' game, hang out, relax, stretch. Stretching is a big part of our routine, and then just get locked in and have a good time with the game.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah,
Tommy?
the Fortnite thing is not a part of my routine. I didn't know that was part of our routine. Apparently it is. I don't really play video games very often, but usually I just kind of stretch and hang around and wait till the game. I don't really have a set routine or anything special.
You're not one of those that has to tie their shoes like left first, right first.
No, I do have a lot of knots on my shoes. So if anyone ever goes to the game and is close enough to see our shoes, you notice I tie them the most because I don't want to double knots good enough, but then it's just not. So I do triple, quadruple. Just keep going. Yeah.
There is
I've done
such
that
a thing
since
as
I was in
overkill.
like 7th grade, so maybe that's the weird thing. But
that's your only superstition.
I wouldn't call it a superstition. It's just overly practical.
Oh, okay.
And then when you go to take it off, it's overly impractical. So.
No, I just laugh at there's a comment that goes around. I'm not going to say about who, but it's they're not superstitious, but they're a little stitious.
Yeah.
So, do you get that, Riker?
No.
So
superstitious.
Stitious. So you're not saying you're superstitious. You're a little stitious. We'll come back to that one. All right. So what music do you listen to before the game?
For me, it's different with like every game. Like I would say when we go on the road, I listen to a lot more music before the games and like just on the bus ride over to the games. But like when we're here, I wouldn't say I really listen to music that often, but I have a wide mix. Sometimes I'll listen to Bruno Mars. Sometimes I'll listen to just like a throwback playlist, or like I'll just listen to like hip hop or rap nowadays. So it's all over the place.
Any T-Swizzle?
I probably would not put. I like Taylor Swift, but I probably wouldn't put her in there.
Yeah, I don't listen to a ton of music before games. If I do, I've got a decent variety of music. Whether that be like George Strait or the Hillbilly Thomas or Patrick Lank or something like that.
Who?
But some really famous artists that are really popular and have a lot of people listening to them. Really mainstream.
All right. Who has better shot form out of you two?
You got it.
I mean, what are we talking about? Like off the dribble, just catch and shoot?
I'm just saying catch and shoot.
I'm going to be honest. I think that my catch and shoot when I'm like in rhythm, I think is better. But when I'm not in rhythm, I'm really flat sometimes, and his is more consistent that way. So I think like my in rhythm one, I might take the.
You might take the cake.
I might take the cake on that
okay.
one. But when it's like a pull up or something like that, I mean Ricky's got a better pull up. So.
See, I told you.
Yeah,
it's super honest. I mean,
it is honest, and I can't argue with it.
Yeah,
so.
I think we're gonna move on from that one. That was a good way to end that one. All right, so you guys know what the show Fear Factor is, right?
Yeah.
It's like where they eat the.
It's where
It's
you
a lot of
yeah,
different
and whatever, and
things,
put your
yeah.
hand in there, and there's a snake or whatever.
Yeah. So if you were on the show Fear Factor, would you rather have to skydive, or would you rather let a tarantula spider crawl on your face?
I'm going skydiving.
Yeah, skydive too. I think skydiving would be fun. I'd like to do that someday.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, that's.
I mean, I don't really like heights, but like that'd be cool. It's the skydive. So
Yeah.
All right.
it's always parachuting down from there. Just look down on everyone. I mean, I already looked down on everyone, but like from up there.
Well, I mean, if your shoot fails, it's suddenly not your problem anymore. So
Yeah, well, yeah. I have no worries at that point.
exactly.
Well, after that point, I guess.
True. All right. So now we get into the trivia questions. Well, they're more riddles. If you so will, or if you so please call them that. What is blue and smells like red paint?
Blue paint.
Blue paint. Gosh,
Blue paint. Dang.
beat me to it.
Good work. Spell the word yes.
Y-E-S.
Now, what does E-Y-E-S spell?
Eyes.
Dang it.
You can't fool me. Can't finesse a finesser.
What's brown and sticky?
Mud.
A stick.
Fair enough. Okay.
All right, that's all I got off the top of my head.
You got any riddles for him?
Yeah, do you got any riddles?
Not right now. Maybe after the interview.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll save that off camera.
Yeah. Can't say that on camera. Can't go on the podcast.
Yeah. I actually don't have any riddles.
Oh.
I got nothing for you.
Riker, you got nothing?
There's only one I can think of. So Mary has 3 siblings. North, west, and south.
Mary.
Okay.
Okay. What is the 4th child's name?
Yeah.
Mary. Yeah. Okay.
I don't get it.
Well, northwest, south. So people mostly say east because they ignore the first part of her name is Mary.
Wow, that was a good one. Should write that down.
Yeah.
Yeah, next interview.
Next interview, we'll
Tommy's
go
too
through that.
Observant.
That is true.
I missed the sticky one, man.
Well, sticky one was.
Yeah.
The word
It just-
sticky threw me off. So.
Mud is maybe
Depending on the
kinda
type of
sticky.
mud. Yeah. Depending on the type of mud.
maybe not.
So, anyway, I know a lot of the people watching do like to know more about the athletes, and that's why I do come up with these questions. But on a more serious note, what would you guys say best describes you? And you can say it in a sentence. It doesn't have to be the one-word thing that we did before, but just a way to describe you. And also, if you can, describe your time here at Black Hills State so far.
I'm going to ask Ricky to describe me.
Oh.
I don't know if I could. Describe Tommy.
Complex.
Yeah.
Tommy's really mature. That's a good word for
Yeah.
him. He's beyond most of us with the maturity levels, which is also a nice little factor to have as a senior. Are you a senior? I don't know what you
Kind of.
technically are.
Yeah.
Or just a veteran in general.
Yeah.
It's nice to have on the team because it
Yeah.
gives us a nice little sense of maturity. As a lot of us.
Thank you.
Yeah. What would you describe me as? Immature?
No, if I had to describe Riker, I think a couple different words would come to mind. When it comes to like intelligence, there's multiple different kinds. I'm not trying to say he's not like book smart. That's not what I'm trying to say. Were you on the honor roll and stuff like that? I'm pretty sure.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. I did not mean to say that. I did not mean to say that. Okay. But it's not just like basketball IQ. Like he has one of the best basketball IQs that I've played with. Him and Adam are one of those. Like see the court and know where the cutters are going to be and things like that. But also I think just like social intelligence, interacting with people. Ricky's someone you can just go to and have a conversation with. Me and him have talked about all kinds of different topics, and he's always intelligent, whether it's religion or politics or school or basketball or whatever the case might be. He can kind of talk about everything and sound like he's intelligent there. And then other than that, probably just like tall and
Tall.
and lanky. And
Well, those words mean so much to me.
Maybe long-haired and stuff like that. I'm kind of long-haired right now. I need to get a haircut.
Yeah,
if I would have known we were being videotaped, I would have gone to the barber before, But
yeah, this mop needs to get under control too. So I'm right there with you. But
it's nice for the cold weather.
Yeah, that's true. Nice insulation. Riker, we did talk about you a little bit in Coach's interview. So.
Oh, really?
Can't say it was all good, but just kidding. No, it was all good. We were talking about your last game and how impressed we were with it.
Oh, nice.
I know.
You're receiving all these types of compliments.
See, we're trying to build you up here. So what would you describe your time here at Black Hills State so far?
For me, it's been up and down. I'm not gonna lie. Like last year was super tough on me coming just because my first year we had COVID to deal with, so I didn't really get a real feel of how the basketball was and traveling every weekend or playing every weekend because we had so many cancellations of games, and it was just super tough for me. But I'm just really starting to like it a lot now, and the community is so great. I get to talk to so many different types of people, and they're just all so kind and caring and genuine. So that's amazing to be around, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a hard community to find. I mean, there's a whole lot of places I've been where you don't have this sense of community. I mean, you have, little kids probably coming up to you here and being like, oh my gosh, there's a Black Hills State basketball player.
Yeah, that's definitely something I would not have expected. Just never expected as growing up that I would be in that spot.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I saw was we're leading the RMAC in average home attendance, and I just think that's such a cool stat just to look at all of our games. We just have, I think it was 1,600 people come to each home game. That's our average. So
yeah, and I mean, that average. Some of those games was when winter break and the students are gone, so it's the community that's coming because the students come and they add that. You have to factor in those games. So
absolutely, and that is something to see. I mean, you look over here and you see all the community members, and you also see some alumni in there as well that have played on the basketball teams or just love to support Black Hills State University athletics, which is just great to have in the community. So
for sure. And another thing that was super cool is going on the road and seeing fans out there that they travel with us, and I'm shocked to see, but it's really nice to have them there all the time, just the constant support.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you also have fans that live in other places like in Denver or Colorado Springs that, were alums or are supporters or something like that, to where, maybe they don't make it up here, but they, come to your games when you're down in Denver or Colorado Springs. So
for sure.
Yeah, it's very good to see them too.
So my time at BH, it's been really good. The academic part has been good. I got my undergraduate degree last year, and so being able to work with the professors and figure out how to get done early was really good. And then this year I'm in the graduate program, and there was a little issue with a couple of the classes, and so I talked to some of the people in charge, and they were super great. We got it. There's kind of a deadline. You have to be a week and a half into the semester before you make those changes. The date was January 19th, and I decided I wanted to change on January 18th, and so I had one day to get it done, and they got it done that afternoon. So I was actually done a day early, and they just took care of it right away. So yeah, the people here are really, really good at just caring for you and making sure that your experience goes the way that you want it to. And then, athletically, it's been really fun to be a part of a team that wins. I didn't always play on winning teams growing up. So coming here and being a part of a program where everybody kind of has a high standard and coach has a high standard, and just a good confidence in yourself and in everyone else is fun to play with, and we share the ball really well. I know that I was talking to one of our fans the other day who's pretty involved with us, and he was just talking about the other night he was watching us and the ball was moving, and he's like, it's so fun to watch you guys when the ball's moving. I'm like, well, it's fun to play with too. And then obviously just being outside as well. I grew up in a more rural environment, so coming out here and being able to fish and hike and camp and all that stuff in the summers especially is really good. So I really like spearfish.
Good. Well, fellas, I just want to say the best of luck for this weekend. I'm sure we're going to have plenty of fans cheering you on because they definitely want to see you back here for the playoffs for sure. So I just say that best of luck against Colorado Christian and also MSU, or not MSU, MSU Denver, sorry. But But yes, those games, 4 p.m. on Saturday, 5:30 p.m. on Friday. And if you cannot make it, you can tune in. We will be broadcasting all games. If you need anything from social media, we also have Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and we generally post every update on there. And I'm sure these guys have Instagrams and, stuff that... You don't have an Instagram?
I'm sure I still have an account, but I haven't gotten on it. I don't know when the last time was.
I can't remember the last thing I posted, truthfully. But, well, anyway, fellas, we'll see you this weekend, and that'll do it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem. And we'll be right back after this.
Those moments where banking is the last thing on your mind? Yeah, those are our favorite moments too. Bring on the day. First Interstate, built for you.
Welcome back to Inside the Hive. Right now I'm joined with Coach Seth Mischke for the track and field team. How are you, Coach?
Doing well again.
Perfect. Well, we had the Stinger Open this last weekend. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the highlights from that track meet?
Yeah, the meet turned out to be quite a bit bigger than I was anticipating from a team standpoint, but it was good for us, certainly. It's always good to kind of have a good last hurrah there going into a conference championship, especially when you're at home, you're not traveling. Mm-hmm. So our kids certainly got some things done. We got some kids qualified for the conference meet out of that opportunity there last Saturday. Friday and Saturday, I should say. Highlights, I would say, Kyla continuing to do well in the weight throw and the shot put. Jaden Gackel had a nice day there in the shot as well. Our new addition to the team, Gavin Pass, there out of Estonia, got his first competitions in of the year and was able to qualify both in the weight throw and the shot put with just that one effort available to him. So excited about what he can do this weekend potentially. And then on the track, Connor McGregor continues to look good in his events as our multi-representative there. Had some PRs, I think, on the track with some of the distance kids. Matt Parker qualified in that 5K, which is awesome. And then our kids that pretty much already were in the meet, in the conference meet, I should say. On the distance side, we're just resting for the most part. Mm-hmm. And then I would say the other one is Brianne Fuller, broke school record in the 60-meter dash. And had a really, really nice 200-meter effort as well. So looking good going into this weekend.
So it looks like, we've had 4 provisionals met, one being Whitney Scott. Can you talk about her a little bit?
Yeah. Finally kind of getting her name on that board again, as it were. Been kind of charging back from some stuff and looking like her old self to a certain degree.
Right.
And that's good. Certainly, having Hannah there kind of holding down the fort this year has been fun to watch, fun to see her kind of mature and grow, and then finally kind of getting Whitney in there again over some stuff, like I said. So, excited about what they're going to be able to do this weekend.
Perfect. So let's move on to this weekend then, and let's talk a little bit about the RMAC Championships that you guys are headed down to. And that, I confused it already. It's not Alamosa. It's in
Correct.
Gunnison.
Yeah.
I already confused that this morning. The other Colorado town.
Yeah, right. What the other 17?
Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about that track meet and what you're excited for the most?
Yeah, they were supposed to host last year and do the scenarios, just could not, with COVID. So we were able to absorb and host that last year. But it is a great facility. I would say one of the best ones in the conference, without a doubt, space-wise. The building that it's a part of is like a $53 million thing that they put together here, and whatnot. But it's a very good facility for track and field. And, we're excited to get back over there. Haven't been there in quite a while for a track meet and let alone a conference track meet. So excited to do that and see what shakes out. It's going to be a crazy busy 2 days on the track. It'll take us a day and a half to kind of get down there comfortably, get our kids ready in shape,
right,
in terms of some shakeout stuff, and get ready to compete right away Friday morning at 9 a.m. with the multis. The competitiveness of the conference is storied, certainly, and we're continuing to see that evolve, not only in the historically dominating distance events in this league, but also the sprints are getting better, the jumps are getting better, the throws are getting kind of silly in a good way, like impressive. So, you got to be somebody to be somebody, in this conference. Right. We can't go in there and expect just to kind of walk in and make a final and score some points. I mean, I would say the event that kind of perpetuates that the most in terms of the competitiveness is you had to be a national provisional qualifier in the men's 3K just to make it to the meet, just to make it to the conference meet this year. So that kind of puts it in terms from a competitive standpoint to say, hey man, I mean, I don't know if there's any other conference in the country that can say it took a provisional mark just to make the conference meet.
Yeah,
you know,
that's pretty ridiculous.
That's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah,
frustratingly so to a certain degree, thinking, man, goodness gracious, you know, you had to do that. And there's some kids that were left home that were provisional qualifiers that aren't running at the conference meet in that event because, you know, we cap it at 18, top 18 declared in each event. And so, you know, a tough out if you have a provisional mark and you didn't make the conference meet.
Yeah, that's pretty
ridiculous.
It's
the way of the world these days.
Yeah, just the competition is so high there.
Yeah.
And especially in the RMAC when it comes to track and field and cross country. I mean, it just seems like it's so competitive compared to a lot of other sports. Whereas, you know, you look at other conferences, just like you were saying, you don't know if there's any other conference that leaves provisional mark kids at home or athletes at home because you capped it at 18 where, you know, other places may not be as competitive. Here, it's very competitive in the RMAC.
It is. You look around the country, and every Division II conference has their strengths, has their weaknesses. You know, relatively speaking, and you know, there's conferences out there that will blow your doors off in the throws or blow your doors off in the jumps or the sprints. You know, and there's other distance great conferences as well. But certainly, it's always been a scenario where the RMAC has been known for that, and they've become a more well-rounded league and well-rounded conference over the last 10 years, I would say. And that's been fun to be a part of, again, coming into the position here and being able to be involved in the RMAC and see it evolve from a distance-heavy league to we're going to encompass all the events and be extremely good at all of them.
Right.
And you know, put ourselves in the conversation for one of the best conferences, Division II in the country, top to bottom in track and field.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I know that you have a bus to catch, so we won't keep you any longer.
Yes,
but anyway, that has been Inside the Hive. We are so happy that you joined us. Be sure to follow us on our social media and also visit our website for any of our schedules or any other questions that you might have to be answered. From Inside the Hive, go Yellow Jackets.
This has been a BHSU Athletics production. Fear the Sting.